we've got this. You're going to be all right. When in truth, those initial cases that we came across, people who were relying on well water, had very high levels of PFAS in their drinking water, a dangerous toxin. And as we later learned, it was much more pervasive than that. It was, and still is, the people of that community who decided to use their voices and not be satisfied with the answers that they were getting that revealed the extent of this problem. The military sites all across the country where we have PFAS contamination still face a federal government, and specifically the Department of Defense, and we have allies in the federal government now, don't get me wrong, but there's still a culture within the DoD which has transcended the changes in the executive branch, a culture to try to paper over these problems. The same way we saw in one of the initial cases in Parkersburg, West Virginia, paper over the problem, deny its existence, and hope that you all will just go away or move on to something else. When we started the PFAS bipartisan task force in Congress, we couldn't get a dozen members of Congress together to talk about this issue. I think it was like 8 or 9 of us. We had one thing in common. We knew that in our districts, there was a contamination that was affecting the people that we represent. And we knew that because those people were coming to us. You know, what Congresswoman Dingell and myself, and Congressman Fitzpatrick from Pennsylvania, and so many others have done is important, but it wouldn't have happened had it not been for the voices of the people that we work for. And that's why it's so important. I have to admit, looking in this room, it's just amazing to me to see so many people who've come together, so much talent, so much knowledge have come together to deal with this issue. You need to keep pressing forward. We have so much more work to do. I won't go through what I maybe had planned to do, go through the litany of pieces of legislation. Congresswoman Dingell did a good job of laying some of that out, but we have others. This week, for example, the Defense Authorization Act comes back before the House of Representatives. I'm dissatisfied with it in terms of the elements that deal with PFAS within the spending priorities and the authorized activities of the Defense Department. We've offered an amendment. There are others to try to improve that legislation. We're going to keep a close eye on whether or not those changes get a fair hearing. Like one, for example, the Vet PFAS Act, which we've introduced, which simply says that if you're a military veteran or a family member of a military veteran exposed to PFAS, that any condition arising of that exposure ought to be treated as a duty-related disability or a condition resulting from your service to the country. I mean, there are lots of pieces of legislation that we need to move forward, but that one to me is one that I think need to continue to press, because when people put on the uniform of their nation, of their country, and are willing to take the risk that comes with putting that uniform on, we make a promise to them that if they are injured as a result of their service, that we will care for them. Can you imagine that the country would deny responsibility for an injury that the country itself is responsible for, that the failure to deal with chemical contamination in the drinking water on a military base would result in an injury to a service member, and then that very same federal government would deny care as a result? I mean, this is the extent of the problem, the extent of denial that we face when dealing with all of this. I mentioned the Flint issue in the context of PFAS because in many ways it's all one big struggle, it's one big battle. It's to make sure that we all take responsibility for creating an environment that does not have these scary, frightening healthcare time bombs built into our environment that could go off at any moment in a person's life. It's really important work. And I'm just happy as I do leave Congress at the end of this term, hence the smile on my face right now. It'll be 12 years that I've served in Congress, and I am ready to move on. Thank you. I'm happy that we've made some progress. I think the best way to mark the progress is the level of awareness of this problem that did not exist a decade ago, that does now, and is really attributable to the great work that you've done. I do want to do one more thing before I take my seat. When you serve in Congress, you have the opportunity to bring in with you people to work on your staff and on your team that reflect your values and help you represent the district. I tell my staff as often as I can that they serve in Congress, whether they wear the pin or not. I do have a pin on, yes, or carry that voting card is not as consequential as the service that they provide to the people that we work for. And so I want to single out one of my team as a representative of the rest, but he in particular has done really important work on this. My district director who's here with me, Jacob Bennett. Jake, Jake's really been our point person on all matters PFAS and has been to these events in the past and did something that was easy to do as a result of his work. He became Oscoda famous. You can't go anywhere in Oscoda without fulfilling it. I say that because what is government? Government's a collection of people who go to work every day and try to solve problems. And I'm just really grateful that I've been surrounded by a team of people who take that work really seriously. And I want to give Jake a particular shout out for his work on PFAS. So thank you, Jake Bennett, for all your work. And thank you all. Appreciate you all very much.
Don't leave Congress, but hey, I think that dies cast on that one. We here in Michigan owe a debt of gratitude to Congressman Kilby, and I am so glad that you gave a shout out to Jake, because Jake is one of us, and he has been absolutely amazing. But we at the Great Lakes PFAS Action Network, Congressman Kilby, want to give you this token of our appreciation for your service in Congress and a lifetime of service to his community, to our community, to our state and our nation. So thank you so very much.
This will make a great belt buckle, I think. Thank you all so very much. Keep up the good work. We got more to do.
Good morning. My name is Rebecca Munich. I am the Executive Director for National Wildlife Federation at Great Lakes Regional Center. Hope you enjoyed your And over the next few days, I hope that you enjoy the friendly facilities here at the University of Michigan. Some of you, I hope, will be paddling down your own river with us this afternoon. And I hope you get to see a little bit of downtown Ann Arbor, this place that I call home. As we spend time here together in Ann Arbor, it's critically important that we also acknowledge the land that we stand on. The ancestral, traditional, contemporary lands of the Anishinaabe, also known as the three prior confederacy of the Ojibwa, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations, as well as the Hawaiian Valley.
You might, you did, but I got like. They will. Yeah, you're good. Yes. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for checking on my side.
I'm still gonna be around.
That's what I thought.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, sir, let's get this, we'll do this twice, so you don't. All right.